So I'm piggybacking onto Miss Denise, and that was one way that she had used to both encourage and educate her team. So we're going to talk about a couple more. My PowerPoint slide. I don't know why I have to have extra tabs on there. Okay, so the very first one that Denise just shared was her business boot camp. And I might be gleaming some. She already told me I could do this a couple months ago to steal, borrow, use all of her ideas. So we might actually start one of those. But this might be something, the team page that I have is very large. There's, 2,300 people on the team. So if you do have a private Facebook team group page, this might be something that you might want to do because sometimes people are very intimidated by large numbers. And they like the security of a smaller group, more intimate setting. So even though I'm going to talk to Denise and we might start something like this in a couple weeks, you still might want to do something on one of your team pages if you are on Facebook. The smaller numbers, don't get discouraged by that. Sometimes that's what people want. They're encouraged by that. To see 2,000 people, that's a sea of people. They might not want to open up themselves, fully on a larger group like that. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about before we move on to this, to make sure that we get our verbiage straight. If you are on Facebook, there are groups, pages, and events. So I want to make sure that we all understand what we're doing here. You can create an event, and that would be an actual event like today. I did not do that, but I could have created an event for today that's telling you, come to my house at this time, and this is what we're talking about. That event will have an end time to it when the event is over. Okay, so that's an event. You can make that event public, or anyone that's on Facebook, whether they be your friends or not, can be invited to it, or you can make it by an email invite only, however you would like to do that. Okay, so sometimes I will do that, like you'll see, 31 parties or Pampered Chapel, whatever, those are events. Okay, then you have a page. A page is public. I used to have Living a Chemical-Free Lifestyle page. That was how I shared. I don't have that anymore, but that was what boosted my business 2 years ago. That is a page that people like. So you click on the like button. If you have to click on the like button, that is a page. Okay? Nothing private about it all. The whole entire world can see this. Even whether they're friends with you or not, they can see the page. Now, if they like your page, now that means it's going to show up in their newsfeed. But I found this out because I have a friend who, not necessarily interested in essential oil, she still used to see every single thing that I posted on my Living a Chemical-Free Lifestyle page, even though she hadn't liked it, because I posted it on her friend, so it would show up in her newsfeed. But when you actually like it, then that means you're actually getting the notification, so to speak, in your newsfeed. Okay, that is a page. A group is something that you have to be added to, either via clicking add people to the group or by email. That's what my page is. All that you guys are here, you're on my group. Not a page, it is a group. Mine happens to be secret. I highly recommend, in light of some recent issues with FDA, that you make your groups secret. Okay? You don't need to be educating other folks anyways. Not saying that there's some cross-line friend education that's not necessarily bad, but for your team, I would make that secret. There is a difference between private, is it private? I think it's called private and secret. Closed and secret. And I can't remember what the difference is. I just know you need to pick secret. Does anybody know what the difference is? I Googled it and I just can't remember. Jill?
I think if it's secret, they can't search it and find you. If it's closed, they can search it and find you.
Okay.
But then you have to accept them or not accept them.
Okay, so if it's closed, they can search and find it. Secret, can't find it all. Okay, so my friend at church, what group? She's like, no idea. I have to invite her via email, or if I'm Facebook friends with her, then I can add it to it. Okay, so the business boot camp that Denise was talking about, it's a secret group. She had to personally invite you because you said to her on her regular page, hey, I want to build as a business, I'm very interested in this. Okay, so just FYI. Okay, so for the first thing, business boot camp, she's already talked about that. Wasn't that a great idea? Absolutely love it. She's my creative friend, no doubt. Okay, second thing, oil and product of the week. Now, this is something that I did on my group page. That sounds like not on group page, I'm just to say group. On my group, months and months ago. And for those of you that have been in a while, you saw it. I would pin it, and then we would learn about that product. And it would either be a supplement or it would be an oil. And I wanted you to do some research on your own. So this is a way for you to educate. Own your education. Okay, I don't want to just tell you everything that peppermint does. I want you to go out and find either stories, sharing, testimonies, documented research, etc. So I wanted people to research about that oil, post their finding, and personal testimonies. Wow, Peppermint did this for me. It was absolutely incredible. I personally loved it. I personally got a lot of tips out of that, you know. And, so sorry, somebody's calling me. I shall ignore that. So I really, really enjoyed that, and I would pin that post. Well, my group has transformed, as lots of things do as the group grows, and I am now moderating posts, and everybody usually has the same questions, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a pin post. If that's what you see now, is that welcome pin post. Welcome, look at the file, do this, do that, so forth. Full testimonial, why else search? Kind of same things that you would always tell somebody in the very beginning when they would start to become a new member and be added to your page. So since I've done that, I cannot pin an oil of the week. We did it a couple weeks ago, and I think I did Super C. Was that right? We'll do Super B, I think it was, yeah. So I did Super B, and I forgot to do it this week because it was just really, really crazy week for me. But I want to do that, get back to doing that every week. It's just the page group, the group moves so fast that you post something that could be way down there. You know, it's kind of hard to find some more things. So are you going to tell me that I can pin two things?
No, but I'm going to tell you how you keep it at the top.
Okay, tell me.
Just type bump.
Yes. Yeah, I do that. I either type bump or just a little period and get it back up. But even me sometimes, like when I found something else about the Super B and I wanted to post it, it took me several minutes of scrolling until I could find it. But that's why I was doing that, is either type bump or look, just type something. Boop, and it bounces it right back to the top. So I would type something to go back up to. You guys would see it. And I had a couple people private message me. They say, oh, there it is. I couldn't find it. Of course, you could do search. In the search bar is a little magnifying glass in the top right-hand corner, and I could have typed in Super B. And you're going to get all past posts, you know, with that title, or some keyword, okay? So we're going to continue that. So that is another good way to educate your team. I want to move a little bit more into supplements, not just oils. Okay, so start looking for that. It only works if there's participation. And I'm not going to do all the work, so I'm not going to go find all the studies or the list of testimonies, so forth. I want you to participate. So when we start doing this again next week, post either how you use this oil or this product, or what you've read about, or studied, etc. Okay, so that's one way. Another way, send a welcome letter. I sent out an email a couple weeks ago letting you guys all know that I'm not doing the welcome letter anymore unless I personally enroll somebody. And that's because I want the people to have communication and contact with you, who they enrolled with. Because what was happening was, my thought process was, I want them to know who I am, because if they come to a team like, who is this Rhonda chick? Okay, well, I'm your platinum upline, and list all that stuff. You know, some of you asked for me to send you my welcome letter. Well, I realized that a lot of you were already doing that. You know, Shauna sent me an email. She's like, yeah, I do something very similar to that. So I didn't want it to be redundant. Plus, I would get anywhere from 5 to 20 email responses. They would come back, and it would be like, great, thank you so much for the welcome letter. Hey, what do you do with Peppermint? I don't have time to answer emails like that. And then I would copy and paste that. I mean, some of them were a little more detailed, but they were a lot of simple questions. They've never had peppermint before in their life. These are very valid questions, right? It's kind of hard to remember to go back to the basic. So then I was like, I don't want to be your contact person. You know, I want you to have that relationship, because we're a relationship business, with your sponsor who enrolled you. So then I would copy that, I would respond, and in carbon copy, not blind, but so they could see it, their sponsor. I go down review it, look it up, copy, paste, send, and I was doing that up to 20 times a month. So they felt that contact with me because they got the email from me. So I want them to have the email from you. So that's why I quit doing it. I only do it for those that I have personally enrolled. So I want you to do it. Have some type of a welcome letter. Now what I did was a welcome letter the moment they enrolled. I mean, sometimes if I got that email, I got the copy and paste. I've already got it stored in my email, right? So I'd send it out immediately. A lot of people message back and say, wow, that was fast. I'm so excited. I feel very special. I can't wait to get my oils. Then I would wait about 2 weeks, and I would send another one, and this one was a little bit different, because you can't bomb it all on them all at once, right? You got to regurgitate this information just little by little, spoon feed them. Okay, so then I would send another letter out about the 15th of the month that would say, okay, hopefully by now you've received your starter kit. I hope what you did was open up every oil and smell them. So make your letters very exciting. Make sure you lift up the tray. And maybe find your Roma Glide or the Stressway. You know how many emails I get? I'm missing my Stressway. Did you look under the tray? There it is. So that email would have that information in it. Then I would add a little 10-second video that one of our team members showed us how to pop off the Aroma Glide or the orifice, because you can reuse them. Okay, so that's number 2, or number 3. This is something else that I do is Skype with new members. How many of you have out-of-state members on your team? Okay, so I hear, well, I'm out of state, I wish I was with you guys. Oh, technology today, come on, there's just no excuse. So get on the phone with them. There's no barriers with the phone. Get on the phone with them. But I love to Skype people. I say, call me or Skype me and get the number when you get your kit, and we do the unveiling right then. And I'll say, I'm in my PJs. Is that okay? Okay, because they saw a real person. And then I was like, oh, open that. Look at that. Oh, see all that paperwork underneath there? It's really hard because I'm all getting my kid out at the same time. I'm like, did you smell it? Smell it. I'm like, oh, that's a computer. You feel like they're right there. They're right there, but they're on the screen. Skyping is great. Just get past your inhibitions and Skype with them. Makes them feel very, very special. So that works really well with your out-of-state folks. Okay, that's what the OFS means. Online classes. This is not something that I have done at all, but we have a professional in our midst now that has begun doing them, Miss Jennifer Webster. And she has been doing an incredible job, her and her team.
I was gonna say, I really can't.
Shout it out.
I can't take credit because you just saw me freak out about the computer screen going off. Sheena Edge, about 3 months ago, sent me this little ditty private message. Says, I really think we should do virtual classes. And I was like, huh? What? Are you really asking me to? But we got together. There's a core group of us, like 5 of us, that meet faithfully every Wednesday. We spend an hour and a half, and we brand them with our Anyone Can Oil Army label so that hopefully people are ethical and don't get on and steal. We don't mind sharing, but we don't want our stuff stolen. We do work hard at it.
Did you hear what her group name was? Anyone Can Oil Army. Isn't that awesome?
But we have a graphic design artist in our midst that I didn't know we had, and it's just been a great thing. They've actually become some of my very best friends, and we weren't necessarily best friends before we formed this core group, and we've really enjoyed it, and it seems to go really well. People like them. So.
And then what she does, so if you've never done an online class, that you just click to join, and this was for her team only, obviously, educating her team in for new prospect. So you can do it, and you would make it by invite only, a secret group.
Yes.
Or event. It's an event.
You can do, what we do is friends and friends invite.
Okay.
And we're very specific with people because of all the FDA stuff,
Yes.
which we have worked really hard to make the graphics FDA compliant, just, cover our behinds. But we make sure that people understand that they need to invite people that they trust. And then we leave the class at maybe an hour so people can scroll back through the graphics, and then the whole event is taken down and deleted so that nobody could ever go back and find it or cause trouble if they needed
So
to.
she deletes it after about an hour, and one time it was the next morning. Of all the, I do lots and lots of online classes that I want to, there's a lot of them out there for fellow cross-line oilers, and, because we're constantly learning. And what I like about them is I don't have to sit at that computer. Okay, 7 o'clock tonight. If you click that you're joining, then you'll start getting the email notifications. Okay, so that I can look at them whenever have the free time. But when the first one that Jennifer had invited me to, I think the number one best thing that I think you did that I've never seen anyone else do is that you numbered them.
Oh, so that they could go back.
Yeah,
and,
I think that was the best thing. Because it can be a rush. She's moving fast. I mean,
we're done in an hour max.
An hour max, and you probably got anywhere from 50 to 80 enumerated items.
Our cold and flu class, I think, has 95. Our intro class has about 45, because basically the cold and flu, you take the beginning of the virtual intro class and add it to then the cold and flu. So it makes it naturally longer, but we figure an hour, and people won't stay any longer than an hour.
Right.
So we post, we time it 1.5 minutes between posts. It just keeps coming and keeps coming.
So did you hear her say, did you hear her say it wasn't all her and the honor that she gave to her team? It takes a team. We're going to hear that over and over. You are all here. You're all part of my team, and we have each of our individual teams, but we're all one big family.
Yeah.
It is a team effort for her.
We'd still be on
these.
graphic 1, honestly, if it were up to me. It really is a great dynamics because I like to study and read, And so I'm the bookworm, the nerd behind it, helping with wording and stuff. And then they're the ones, the creative juices. And like Caitlin's very trendy and clean and fresh. And so she knows what graphics to use for like the younger age. I mean, it's just, it's a team. I mean, it's totally, everybody has their gifts and it's just beautiful.
And you need that. If you're doing an online class, you need that. I do not see how one person can do it, because not only are you trying to post, and you're posting something, a new one every 3 to 5 minutes.
Minimum of 3 people on
Okay, minimum of 3.
one poster, 2,
So someone
2
posts,
answering
and then like
questions.
Jennifer and Sheena or whoever else will be online, answering questions right underneath that post. And then there are tons and tons of posts, people asking questions or giving a story, oh, I love this, or cute graphics or whatever, to keep it moving and highly interactive. It's been very successful for her. I had no desire to do that.
Yeah.
Remember, we have all different talents and wishes and so forth. Are you kidding me? There's no way. I might, if you did it and you invited me, I would definitely, I can get on talk all day long. Create graphics and stuff like that. Even when I had my public page of Living a Chemical-Free Lifestyle, people would private message me, can I share your graphic? Like, it's not mine. I have not created one graphic. My son did 4 or 5. That was it. That's not my forte at all. Someone had a question. Go ahead.
Go back, because I find this is fascinating, but where do you go to do online? You're not talking Facebook or social media.
Yeah, we are
Yeah,
actually.
It's on Facebook.
It is on. You create an event, okay? Let's say you wanted to have a party at your house and you were going to invite all your friends. The only difference that you put on this is that you, on the location, we put, I don't know, wherever your rump rests or in your PJs, or, we put some cute little ditty where people understand that you stay at your house, I stay at mine, and we get on and we do this class. I will say this though, real quick, just because, I hope people do go out and run with this, but we do not hand out these graphics to just anybody. There is a step-by-step process, because being that we have a big team, I have to protect my girls. And so when people want the class, they have to read the first 4 chapters of the Essential Oil Pocket Reference. They then sign a waiver and they send it back to us. We store that in email. We send them, oh, yes.
Is there a way like to compile something for those who want to look into this and maybe detect it?
Well, I'll tell you what Sheena sent me. I'll have her find that. It was on YouTube. And it was a woman walking you step by step how to do this. And we just watched that video and took it and tweaked it to us and ran with it. But you don't want to do all this work and then just take your precious work and just drop it on anybody that could, they have to agree not to change the graphics, because we worked hard to make them FDA compliant. So you're not going to have our brand on it and then go, butcher it. They have to read and sign the banned words, which of course now that's like 2,000 pages. It's kind of like Obamacare, right? Yeah. With what we can and cannot say. Sorry, on the video. Oops. Anyway, but there's a 4-step process so that they understand these 5, 6 girls work really hard. We want to bless you with this, but you need to bring your 50 bricks to the table and give something back and understand that this is precious. And thus far, it's worked great. And it's been really, really good. And we store on file who we've shared the graphics with, who has our classes on hand. That way, not who's gone to the class, but who we've actually shared the whole entire Google Drive doc with. Like, we've handed over, like my mom, she has the class, okay, because she's on my team. There's other girls out of state that's a way for them to do classes and be connected to our team that way. But it gives them that accountability that don't go change the class. You keep it in-house, and we designed this for a reason. And it's just that way, if anybody were ever to come back on us and say, well, the Anyone Can Oil Army is doing this and this, we have the original documents, we have our branding on it, and said, no, that is not the original class. This is what we designed. I don't know what they did with it, but.
So they're using it then like a PowerPoint when they go to
Pretty much,
house
yes.
and but
Yeah.
you're using it online at a certain time for an hour.
For an hour.
Day, and then it's shut down.
Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, yes. Oh.
Do you know how many people are joining, like, to
Um,
see your posts?
Yeah, it shows. It shows how many, like, we got a little scared one night because it got up to like 2,100 people invited, and we were like, oh, I hope everybody's on, but only like 100 ended up being on. Which is still a lot. I mean, my little fingers were flying fast and furious because I don't like to copy paste because I'm not tech savvy. I like to answer questions, and it works great for the group. But then it'll tell you how many people are on, how many people are going, and you always tell people you do a roll call. It's very, and that's why it's good to watch that thing that walks you step through. You take it seed to seal, inhalation to, it is a very detailed class. And you close it out with how to enroll your kit. And thanks, folks. I think we have a that's all for now, folks thing. And then we delete it in an hour.
But that is open to anybody.
No.
So you've got
No.
2,100 just on your team that are joining?
Well, you invite friends just like you would. And then those friends are allowed, you can do friends and guests. You just make sure I don't make non-team members hosts. We invite non-team members, because the whole point of a virtual class is to garner new people. But by making them a host or making it invite only, you still have some control. That way you can't just have random people. Because before all the FDA stuff broke, we were going to do it on my public anyone can oil page. We did that one time, and then all the FDA stuff, and we're like, nope, never again. So we brought it back in-house. Like 3 or 4 of us will be hosts. Then we invite, and then we allow those people to invite. So it does keep things reined in a bit.
So everyone who's gonna watch has to sign a waiver?
No, everyone who I am going to give the graphics to. The main person that is then going to be taking and being responsible for that class has to sign a waiver, yes.
But essentially, everyone who's at that class, say 2,100 did come at that hour, they will copy and paste those things.
No, you're just watching. We
There's no
own,
way to go to save image as?
I'm pretty sure that because you could print it, but actually the way that Caitlin did it is it's thumbnail protected, and so if they try to steal it, it makes it itty bitty. So I'm sorry, we worked hard, and
You gotta
should be.
protect yourself.
So yeah.
Oh, who's the name? What's the name of the person who did the YouTube video?
That we took the.
The person who did the YouTube video?
I have no idea.
But it's just how to do an online class?
Yeah, it's called like virtual classes online.
Class,
Yeah.
online, on yourself.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah.
I see Rhonda uses
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, and then you use Facebook. I've tried both, and I'm not sure which one. Why do you use Eventbrite?
Well, Eventbrite is when you have an actual event. Eventbrite would have absolutely nothing to do with this online class.
Oh, okay,
This
because I
is
invite
on
people,
Facebook.
I invite people through Facebook, and I do the Evite or whatever that is.
Yeah,
You have to
Eventbrite.
have everybody's email address for that.
You
On
couldn't
Facebook,
do a
it's real
class.
quick.
Yeah, you
Not
can
for
do.
class, but just for.
Like I did
your home.
Eventbrite for this, even if you do free tickets. I did Eventbrite, so I know how many people, how many folders to create, so forth, how many chairs.
Oh, there's better tracking with.
Right,
Event.
yeah, but the Eventbrite is just for an event.
Okay.
Eventbrite is typically for a physical located event. It's not an online
Thanks,
class.
I just wanted to know the,
Yeah.
the specs.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell us, why did you decide to delete your Facebook page?
Am I living a chemical-free lifestyle? Yes. Actually, for several reasons, but I will say the crowning blow was in light of the letter received, from FDA. And when I went back to look at some of my graphics, I was not 100% compliant. I've had my page for 2 years. I had over 8,000 likes and almost 10,000 photos. There's no way I was going to go back through and try to figure out which ones were okay and which ones were not. To me, it was a blessing from heaven because I have talked about shutting that page down several times and have been halted by the Lord for doing so. So I knew that that was what I was supposed to do. That was my platform. I have a lot to say. And so that was my avenue, my venue for saying everything I wanted to say. My page was not just oils, it was living a chemical-free lifestyle. So I would post healthy recipes, exercise, my keeper, my garden, canning, things like that. The majority of it was oils. I couldn't maintain it any longer. My group is so large, and my focus is you guys and the business builders and education and training. And I want to get out from the computer and in face-to-face with people. I wasn't sharing enough because I was behind a computer. I mean, I'm getting monthly massages because of the stress and tension because I'm there 8 to 10 hours a day typing. And I used to post every 2 to 3 hours. Used to be really addicted. My name is Ron. I was addicted to Facebook. So, I admit my shortcomings. I've admitted it to several of you. But I loved it. It was like my life. I had so much to say, and I was able to say it there. And it was my page. And if I didn't like what you say, click, I banned you. I had so much power. I mean, I'd be like at a restaurant, my phone would alert, and like, this isn't true. Why, they would say something about snake oils, and I'm like, ban, delete, just gone, just off the power. So when this came up, I was like, I used to post every 2 to 3 hours, so like 10 times a day. Because I want it constantly in your newsfeed, and that's how I was growing my business. And now that I've got my private support group, you guys are my main focus, and love this, and the camaraderie and so forth. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to put something on my Living a Chemical-Free Lifestyle page. What happened was it grew into me educating the masses. I wasn't enrolling anyone else. I haven't enrolled anyone at that point for months and months. When I first started it, I was enrolling 5 to 30 people a month. Total strangers were just coming out of the woodwork, okay? And the week that I shut it down, I hadn't enrolled anybody for months. But you would look at my graphics and it would say 313 shares. Wow, they were all current oilers, not even on my team. And although that's okay, I don't have time to educate the masses anymore. So then he had to go back and you have to say, you guys always have to say this, and anything that we do, in our life, not just Young Living, is this valuable right now? Do we need to go back and revisit this? And should we continue doing what we're doing, even though it's bringing no value to your purpose, your end goal, and it wasn't bringing any more value? And so just that previous week, I was like, I'm so done with this page. I just want to talk to my people. I don't want to educate the masses anymore. And then the other day, I was like, oh, okay, good, I'm done. So I was on the phone with Karen, and she's like, your graphic that you just put yesterday, it said allergies, which you can't say the word allergies, right? And I'm like, great. So delete. And then she goes, oh, wait a minute. Those are sisters online with me. And she saw something up, delete. And as I'm on the phone with her, I'm like, delete, shut down, done. She goes, I didn't say do that. I said, oh no, to me, that was divine. I called Denise, like, I think you shut yours down the same day, didn't you? I actually, and I think you did too, felt some freedom there because since it was open, it was another responsibility for me. And I couldn't do it. I mean, I could barely cook dinner for my kids anymore. They're like, what's for dinner? I'm not hungry. I don't care. Whatever you want to fix. I don't have time. So for me, it was freedom. And I am just educating my team now. So I'm really happy about it. I'm not saying that you have to or that everyone, is not FDA compliant. You just need to revisit what you're doing and make sure that you're doing the right thing. But that's why I had shut my down. There's a season. There's a time and a place and a season for everything. I had my season for 2 years. Very happy. That's why I am where I am today. And that season is over. So I was done. Put it to rest. Okay, so she talked about online classes. So another incredible way to be able to educate your team yesterday.
Can I just add that Young Living Gathering Place has a event that you can actually use yourself to post your own event.
It's a new website. If you haven't seen me post it on the team page, incredible resource. They contacted me months ago, wanted to know if I wanted to be part of it and take some of the stuff that we have, on our God Oils website. YL Gatherings, does it have an S? YLGatheringPlace.com. You're just in awe. Even graphically, the site was so cute and professional. You see how it flips over? I just love that. But the resources is just amazing. They have so many people helping them. It's not a one team, it's all cross-line. It's just about educating.
But are you saying it has already
It has an event that you can actually use graphics, and we can actually, they have all the wording. Picture by picture by picture.
They haven't done all the work.
Exactly, but you have to go in and personalize the wording to your own story. And you can actually put in your own graphics. But she just has a way to help you see and envision. Just use their stuff or use your own, but it's all laid out. It's all laid out there.
Remember the post that I put on the team page the other day, don't reinvent the wheel? There's so many resources out there. I have people all the time, well, do you have this you type up? Did you? No. Why would I? It's all there. Now, it might take you a little while to find it, but it's there. Even our God Oils website has a lot of good information. Wild Gathering Place is phenomenal.
That was one
one of the things I do most of the time for my boot camp is together. So even if I do my own teaching, then I put link, like all compensation or YL gathering. Why would I
Yeah.
reproduce something about compensation? I just linked there. It's beautiful.
And, you know, if I'm in a real snarky mood, and I will tell people, if you don't know anything about the oils, or if you're not quite sure how to build, that's your fault, because it's out there. Okay, now you've got to get with your sponsor, and you've got to do a little bit of work, but it's not for lack of information. It is out there. Okay, so ylgatheringplace.com, awesome. Okay, second thing that I did, I only did this for a little bit, because I have so many things in the hopper, ideas that I want to do, so I only did this for a little bit, but give a prize, you know, for doing some research. So if you remember, it's probably been a month or so ago now, I want you to read the comp plan. I want you to read your, is it 32 pages? The
Products
distributor
and
agreement.
policies.
Policy and procedures.
How many?
Policy and procedure.
Policy and procedure, yeah, not distributor agreement. I'm thinking it's like 46 pages. It's a large document, but you need to know what's in there. And, you know, as a fault to us, when we come and we roll somebody, we're like, oh yeah, quick, you can read that later. I do it. Are you going to sit there for an hour while they sit and read 46 pages? But I do tell them, please, when you get home, at some point next week, go read that. That's a lot of, but you got to know, especially if you're a business builder, you better know your policy and procedure. So I did a little thing. So at what age can you enroll someone? I made you go to the policies and procedures, and I gave away something silly like a lip balm or whatever. And, you know, I get the craziest emails. They're like, I'm so excited. It's a $5 lip balm, guys. But people love to win things. It's something encouraging. And I had somebody say to me, maybe it was you, I had somebody say, oh, I know the answer, but you're making me go look it up, you know, so that they would know whether it was a win or not. Make them look up and make sure that they were right. Yeah, I did that for a couple weeks. Need to get back to that. That was just one example, okay? Sometimes you got to force the hand behind their back to make them learn their own education, own their own education, of course, the last part. Give them the resources to own their education. So I used to just say 2 resources you definitely have to have, and that is ylsearch.com. You can find anything. I love that website. Or that Google search. Oiltestimonial.com. That was what I used for 2 years before I finally broke down and bought myself the Essential Oil Desk Record. If you're a business builder, you better own the EODR. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You better own the EODR. I suggest you have the big one and the little one. Do you think they could get all that information on the big one that's in the little one? People ask me that often, like, of course not. It's a lot of it. Let's talk about this. You would not be able to see it. You have to have a magnifying glass. Of course not all the information is there. You're missing a lot. There's a lot of good information. I have both. The little one is for traveling. It's in the car. The big one is at home. The pages are falling out because I use it that much. Okay, it's open like a Bible. It's just open. You know, husband go, can you put that book away? No, because I know in an hour I'm going to get it back out and use it again. Okay, so it's just open in the living room. Okay, so YL search, oil testimonial, and now I add the ylgatheringplace.com. Okay? Now, these are just suggestions that I have. So we're doing good with time, 11:42. So before I move on to the next slide, let me hear from you. What other suggestions or ideas have you done or do you have right now to help educate your team that we haven't talked about? Anybody else have any other suggestions? Jennifer?
Well, given that books are still covered under the First Amendment and with all the FDA stuff, like maybe I'm paranoid, but I truly believe people need to have the physical books in their hand, and we need to be reading and studying and not depending on this computer. I tell people all the time, if you see something on oils testimonials you like, you better print it off and put it in a notebook, because I personally believe it may not be there too much longer. That's just my personal opinion. Don't leave the class saying Jennifer Webster said, but we need to have physical books. They're here for our education, and, you know, people need to read. People need to take their health and their education to their own hands, not always be depending on that stupid search bar. Like, read. I love to read, but I want my people to love to read too.
And there's proof in that, because if you went to pubmed.gov, pre-FDA letter, you will find some of the documents there now.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Screenshot.
So the other resource, and somebody's mentioned it a couple times, but I find a lot of people are overwhelmed by that desk reference. Like, it is like the Bible, you know, and the first time, what chapter do I go to find out about what? But just YouTube by itself, there's lots of great little clips on how to break down the essential oils desk reference, how you can use it. I know it sounds like a simple thing, oh, just go and do your own research, but not everybody really understands how to maneuver that or how to look things up. So just a little 5-minute or actually 3-minute YouTube YouTube video. There's some great ones out there on how to use
Right.
your tools.
Right.
So I think just handing somebody something and saying, go forth and be great, isn't always the best way to help educate them.
Right. And that is a perfect segue. Hang on one second, because I want to attach to what she just said. Denise and I were just talking about this. If you saw, just yesterday, if you saw this little magazine, well, not little, it's an incredible magazine, that I was at Deborah Rayburn's event in San Antonio a couple weeks ago. I bought 100 of these to be able to give away, okay? If you go online at lifesciencepublishers.com, they're $8.99 for one. Okay, that's a little pricey. At the event, they had them for $5.
Oh, wow.
But you have to ask. You know what my motto in life? Have I told you what my motto in life is? I don't think I've told you guys yet. My motto in life is you never know unless you ask. And that has been my motto forever. I have flown first class when I only paid for coach because you just have to ask. You never know unless you ask. So I walk up to the guy and I said, what if I'm 100? What will you do? He goes, I get 2 for $3.50. Okay, so I got it for $3.50 and I bought 100. Now, online, and if you phone them, I don't know that you'll get that deal, but you have to ask. You never know unless you ask. So for $3.50, I'm going to put the mic down and show you. I'll have this on the table so you guys can look at this afterwards. But this is something that Denise and I were saying. This is incredible instead of the ODR. It's black and white and boring. Now you got to have it. It's awesome. But depending on the personality, like, oh, I don't know, I have to do this. It talks, of course, about Young Living, a little bit about the chemistry, safety guidelines. See if I can hold this up. How to use, diffusing, inhaling. Then it goes to the kids, Young Living at a glance. Of course, now it's going to be a little outdated. I'm okay with that, because in November 15th, we're replacing those 2 oils. These oils are still here, okay? They just might not be in a kit. That doesn't mean I'm all upset and I'm not going to use it. Of course I'm going to use it. Then it goes into each one. Do you see how pretty and colorful it is? Okay, so we're going to go past that. All right, then they're past the starter kit. So stinky feet, purification. I've got the animal sense in here. Weight loss, Ninja Red. I had to ask what TKO meant. I called Denise. I was like, does that mean token lockout? I'm not sure. I sang in the choir in high school. I did not play sports. So I have no idea what that meant. Full color. It goes into fees, skincare. I absolutely love this. And then at the end, let's get you to the end here. Vitaflex, love the low color, right? Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no. And then they have them by the oil. So lemon, lavender. This is 101 class in a book.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
you could
awesome.
hand this out and teach from this so that they can actually write. So 3 pages of notes, or 4 or 5, I can't count. This is incredible. Okay, even for $5. And then you could say, do whatever you want. You could say, for anybody that enrolls tonight, then this is my gift to you. You can have it if you'll take it home. But if they don't enroll, then take it back. Whatever you want to do, whatever your pocketbook will allow you to do. But I absolutely love it. It's really hard to take it back, I will tell you that. You'll find them at the door. I called Denise and said, they took them all. They left. I said, don't take them, and they took every one of them. I lost like 12 catalogs that day. I had nothing to teach them the next night, right?
She was so mad. She's like, I told them that they couldn't take it, and they left with it anyway. And I was like, you left, Rhonda. I like your perfectionism.
I know. I said, and it's only a $2 catalog, and you have regular Young Living catalog. It wasn't a money issue. It was, I had another class to teach in 2 days. I had 2 catalogs.
No, that wasn't the issue. It was that you told them not to do it, and by golly, then let's be real here. Do we need to get an oil for that?
That too. I say something, I mean it. Yes, go ahead.
And another great resource in the new virtual office, when you sign somebody up, there's steps that they can go through
Yes.
when they first sign up, which I love that they've done that, since it goes through getting started.
Yep.
And they're just little short 2-minute video clips. If you can encourage people to actually go through those,
Well,
they
the
learn a lot
booklet-
really quick.
There's the booklet in their basic starter kit. It
Right.
wasn't there when we signed
Right.
up.
Right.
I mean, and so sometimes even just the booklets that come with your kit, have them do those first.
Yeah. But you gotta tell them, again, it's that communication and that relationship. I've had members go get it out of the trash. I'm like, oh, your paperwork was underneath that tray, that booklet, you want that. They go get it out of the trash. I'm like, I didn't know. I keep telling Young Living, like, you need like a little arrow over, look under here, something, because people don't know to look under the tray. Okay, whoever has some more suggestions, go.
What's the name of the magazine you want?
Oh, it's called Experience the World of Essential Oils. And it's from lifesciencepublishers.com. call. Say, I have this girl named Rhonda Flint. She said, name drop. I'm nobody, but you never know. I mean, they just might remember me. Jill.
I was just gonna say, one of the things that I did in October for my business builders is try to simplify a compensation plan, because I still text Shauna today and say, okay, I understood this yesterday, but I still don't get it today.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do was create a folder for my business builders to break it down into maybe even simpler steps. So I printed things off of our member resources, I think it was the compensation plan made simple or whatever the one that you guys used last time. But I put them kind of in a different order and added a few things here and there and made tabs, so we had a tab for just the Essential Rewards program, and we had a tab for the compensation plan up to executive, and we had a class, and I limited it to 5 people per class so that we could sit around the table and break it down and try to understand it better. And some of my people are here, they came to the class, they can tell you whether I helped or not, but I still to this day find myself being confused because I've slept since the last time I learned it. So I wanted to have something for them that they could refer back to and even teach their own business classes with and have it right in front of their face. So.
Good idea. Again, resources there. Yeah, smaller classes are really, really good sometimes. Okay, I'll take one more question, and we might have to do it at the end, because I only got 10 minutes to get through my next slide. Oh, who else?
I was just gonna say, you can sell those today for $4. You never know unless you ask.
Uh-oh.
I made my match, didn't I? One in every crowd. She's fine. We need to do lunch. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide, and then we've got 10 minutes till lunch. Okay, so now, encourage your team, you bet. So let's talk about some ways that you can do. Denise mentioned this, pray for them. I tell people, if you're not a Christian when you come to my team, you will be after you join, because we talk about that. Okay, pray for your team. We have heard from several Crown Diamond, Monique, I don't know if you follow her, she's a Royal Crown Diamond. She talks about how her business grew was from her fasting and praying, the Daniel fast. Okay, I'm not saying that's the only way for your business to grow, but I encourage you, pray for your team members. Okay, and tell them you do this. I had a conversation, text message from a precious girl just yesterday. Never met her, but she's moving to Oklahoma. She's so excited, she can't wait to meet us. I forget what state she lives in now, but some things going on in her life. And she said, I would appreciate your prayers. I said, actually, the Lord laid you on my heart this morning. She goes, I'm sobbing. I said, I think you get prayed for often than you don't even realize. Okay, pray for your team and tell them that you do. Send note cards via snail mail. It's not as archaic as you think. Now, I will tell you, I am behind, and I will get my congratulations out to you new silvers and above, but I try to send out congratulations cards to my new silvers, and sometimes they don't even know who I am. Because they might be 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th level down, and I'm still sending out, the thank you card. You can do gifts, whatever you like, but people like that tangible card in their hand, and it's not an age generation thing. It was a 16-year-old or a 60-year-old. Got a card instead of an email. Okay, phone call. Or next one, email them, ask them how you can assist them, especially those personally enrolled people. Now, it can be your team members too, but especially enrolled, email them. Of course, call them. I don't know if I even have call them there. Yeah, call them. Hearing your voice is sometimes all they need. So Melissa Pepping talks about having care calls. You can keep a binder. I did this in the very beginning when I was enrolling a lot of people, and I would keep just a notebook. You can do it on the computer. I'm a hands-on person. I don't have a Kindle, probably never will have a Kindle. I want the book. I want to feel it, I want to touch it, I want to smell it. I want to go with it, travel with it. Okay? Yes, you travel with a Kindle, but what if I've got this document on my computer at home, and it's all my notes from the person that I called, and, okay, she said call back in a week, so I've got notes on that. Or when I called her, I might take notes. I asked her what her favorite oil was, and she told me peppermint. So the next time I call her, I might jot down notes and say, okay, so have you gotten outside the box a little bit? Have you tried any of our supplements? We have over 400 products. It's not just essential oil. So there are several times I have made what we call a care call. I'm going to adopt that from Melissa. And I will just be chatting with them, sometimes total stranger. But, hey, you got your kids? How have you doing? Have you been able to have any success with the oil? What have you use, what's your favorite oil, so forth. Then all of a sudden, it takes a little while for them to open up. You know what, I do have a question for you. I'm so glad you called. And they told me at the end of the conversation, I know you're busy and I wouldn't have called you. Only reason they're asking and got that relationship now is because I called them. They won't take the time to call you sometimes. So you have to reach out. This is a relationship business. I think you've heard me say that more than one time. And not just from me, right? I like what Jennifer said. We are not kit sellers. I have chastised you guys on Facebook before, not you, but as the general rule, your goal is not to enroll them and then see ya. You're not kit sellers. You're there to change their life and be part of their life. Enroll them and then follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay, so email, call, acknowledge them. Warm fuzzies go a long way. That's why I like to say, congratulations, you know, we got a new executive. I usually start with executive up just because the team is so large. That's all you would see on the team page if I acknowledge every single star, senior star. So I started executive up. And I'm doing a picture now, even though you may not like it. It's a good thing because I thought people want to see, they want to connect with, oh, that's who Linda is. We saw the picture. So, you know, put a little something there and acknowledge them. Most people, there are a few that are a little shy, don't like to be in the spotlight, but most people like to be acknowledged for anything. It may be a little text message. I text someone the other day, she's on my 7th level, but I pull up my downline viewer, she must have had a cost of something to enroll 6 people in one day. So I tried to text her the phone number that she had on her profile, was a home number, so it came back. So then I called her sponsor, which I'm good friends with. I need her cell number, so then I text her, wow, what are you doing over there? Because you're doing a phenomenal job. And she's like, so Rhonda, text me. Oh, Rhonda, special. Didn't expect to hear from you, right? That goes a long way. A kind word. You will never regret saying a kind word or encouraging someone. Of course, the next thing then send text messages. Get to know your people, because there may be people that don't text. There may be people that don't have Facebook, that don't have email. So I had uploaded a file from, let's see, did I upload it as a file? Ooh, somebody help me out, I can't remember. I listened to a conference call and I can type 95 words a minute, so I am typing faster than lightning from what the person, oh, it was Dr. Danette, when she talked about the oils for this week and then how to build your business outside of Facebook. And she's a diamond. And she's like, the only reason I'm on Facebook is because they wanted me to be part of the YL Fast Track calls. And they forced my hand to get on Facebook. She's not built her business, you know, with Facebook at all. So there were some tips that I had there. If I didn't do a document, I need to. Does anybody remember? I don't know if it was a post or not. I'll have to go back and look. But she had some really good suggestions. Okay, so don't just think, and sometimes I do this, you're not on Facebook, sorry. Because I don't do a whole lot with just email. Okay, so if it's not email, then it needs to be a phone call or a text message or, you know, go down to their house. I email a couple neighbors. Have one-on-one with them. Have a little bit of a tea or sleep tea or whatever and get to know them. Okay, so those are a couple other ways to encourage your team. So we have 3 minutes before we break for lunch. I like to be on schedule. So does anybody have any additional information or comments or questions before we break? Jennifer?
I will say that I started just this last month doing an email one, like a newsletter. I shared a recipe and I shared just some budget friendly, some of the things I shared on Facebook. I will do it again just because, you know, you can go and click and email all your people with one email. With the old virtual office, I have no idea how the new virtual office
They haven't
goes.
come
But,
up with it yet.
okay.
They will.
But I will share with you that doing that, I have noticed about a $2,000 bump that week. So people are reading the emails. I may not get a response, but I mean, I just kind of watched and I was like, interesting. So the beginning of the month, I'm just going to start doing like a monthly, once a month email. I don't want to bombard people and I don't want people to think I'm just emailing them to sell them something, but I made it, you know, about health and wellness and I'm praying for you. Can I help you with anything? And I definitely noticed like the 3 days after it was people that were not ordering or had not ordered were ordering. So
I'm sorry, you can do what?
Okay, and you cannot do this in the new virtual office. If you have transferred over, they have not updated it in terms of this new system yet. Well, actually, some can.
Well, it'll still stay on the left side, it'll just take you back to the old virtual office.
Right, that's true. That's
So
true.
you can still do it for new virtual office. It's just
Yeah.
taking you to it.
So in the old virtual office, if you go to, I'm going to do this from my memory in my head. So log in, Then you click on downline viewer on the left-hand side. Then you
Reports.
click on reports,
Email.
and then you pick whatever you want. So when you click on reports, then did I just go dead? I just went dead. You click on reports, and it'll come up, and you can send an email to like your whole entire team. That's why I've done it to you guys before. Or you can click on the spot that will say those are about to go inactive, or those that are not on ER, something. I forget. There's a list of like 6 or 7 people. Yeah. So you click on that, and then it'll pop up. It'll say email, and then you type what you want to say, and it goes out to, for me, all 5,000 people. Anybody that has an email listed. Okay. So when I
Yeah, that must stick out.
Yes, and they're working on that for that to be able to do virtual office, but that is an incredible way. And hopefully what we're asking for is that they, in the new virtual office, they will allow us to email just specific legs. Okay, so sometimes I'm working with just one leg. I want to do a promotion for just one leg. Well, I would have to copy paste emails at this point. So we're asking that you would just allow us to email just one particular leg instead of one entire group.
And they're working on that, you're saying?
That you cannot email one particular leg right now, but they're working on that. But right now, in your virtual office, you can email.
Just the old? Just the old?
Yeah.
You can't do it at all.
You can't do it from the new one, but if you're in the new one, you'll click on it and it'll take you back to the old virtual office. So you can do it. Even if you transfer over to the new one, you can still do it. I'm just saying it will keep you in that new virtual office. Okay, one more question.
Do you know what that new up-and-coming thing called the Young Living Academy is supposed to be about?
They're working on that. If you guys have seen it in your virtual office, it's called the Young Living Academy, and it's actually going to be additional training for us. They're massively working on it now to make sure it's compliant. So I don't really know when that's going to come about. They told very, very little about it at convention, and I've been reading on different groups, just them working on it, but don't know when that's coming out. Okay, it is noon, so we're going to